So, dummy units of the upcoming Apple iPhone 18 Pro suggest new colors are headed our way if you're interested. There's a picture right there, including a new dark cherry, which is on the very right side. You got a dark gray, which is almost a black color, which is the second from the left. And then you also get the classic space gray, which is pretty common, right? A white or a silver white and a black. And then you get your two off colors in your dark cherry and your sky blue. Now, I think the dark cherry is going to take the place of the cosmic orange. There will be no more orange colored iPhone this year, but they did have a navy blue that actually probably I was thinking the other day, I probably should have gotten this one navy blue because this thing looked cool at first, but then when you start using it, it's kind of ugly. And the other thing that I don't like about it, it's two toned, and I know there would be a color difference, but that's I don't know. It looked cool, but now that I had it for a while, I'm like it's kind of ugly. But they're replacing that dark navy blue with a new sky blue, which is on the left side that you see there. Now those are the Pro Max models. They're going to be the same colors, same design, same look, same everything with the 18 Pro as well. So you'll get the dark cherry, silver, black, and blue on the 18 Pro as well. It's going to have again a new, well, not new, a two-tone rear design as you see on this thing right here. And from what I understand, the iPhone 17 Pro series production, meaning in the warehouses when they make them, they've slowed down and almost come to a halt. So it looks like now that's kind of common, right? If they have a ton in the warehouse for sale, they'll stop making the iPhone 17s, and if they have to, uh, you know, remanufacture them, they will at that time at a given point if they need to manufacture more. But it says that they're ramping up production of the 18 series. It's expected to feature. Now, I have specs and stuff that we're going to potentially get into, and it looks like we're going to see a price hike as well. So, it's expected to feature this new 18 Pro and Pro Max, a more expensive variable aperture camera setup. It's going to be pretty good shooter if you're interested in photos, which I don't like iPhone photos. I think they come out looking orange, quite frankly, with some kind of weird tint on it. I know you can change the color profiles. I'd still change the color profiles, and I just don't like the way the iPhone camera pictures look. Still photos, videos are alright, but I just don't like iPhone photos. They just look off. Maybe I'm used to Android, but whatever. So we're going to get into this price increase, and I'm sure it has something to do with the memory, but I wanted to jump into this camera upgrade that I'm talking about, and then we'll get into specs, and then we'll get into a future iPhone launch. But look at this right here. Let me show you some more pictures here, right? Let me show you a couple more pictures, and we'll jump into something else. I think that was the same one, no? So here's a close-up. Price hikes. The 18 Pro and Pro Max are going to see a price hike. This is not a rumor. It's essentially set in stone. How much we don't know, but it's due to the rising cost in memory. That's should be no surprise. But it's also getting as I mentioned, a variable aperture camera. Now, this is something not that common in cell phones. I think it was on an old phone, like a random Samsung Galaxy S10 or S8. I can't remember which one, but this is an all new variable aperture camera that's going to be made by Samsung. So you can also expect the variable aperture camera to be implemented in future Samsung devices as well. The variable aperture camera upgrade can bring in up to 50% more light but also be 50% more costly than the previous lens sensor from the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max series. So your price is going to get a little higher, but you are going to see, I think, a noticeable difference, a noticeable upgrade in the camera department. Most people say, the iPhones are the best cameras, this and that. Again, I don't think so, but apparently Apple wants to take it to another level. And I think that's where the industry's headed in a whole. Like, you're going to see Apple put these variable aperture cameras on their iPhones. You're going to see Samsung do it on their flagships, who knows, in a year or two. And I think you'll see Motorola put them on their flagships, Oppo put them on their flagships. I think this will be a common thing here in the next couple of years, a few years. Now, the inclusion of Apple's first 2 nanometer chip, the A20, the Bionic A20 Pro chipset, it's going to be produced by TSMC, and guess what? Also contributes to the rise in the cost. And they pass the rise in cost down to the consumer. So what's new, right? Now, you are going to see Samsung raise the cost of their phones as well. The only reason why they didn't raise the price on their most sold product, the base S26 Ultra, the base storage model, is because Apple didn't raise their prices. Now, the Apple's going to raise their prices a little bit. Samsung says, oh, Apple's going to do it. Well, then it's okay if we do it. They love to copy Apple. Now, how much of an upgrade, how much of a price increase do I think this is going to be? To be honest with you, I think 50, but I think 50, but at first thought, I think 50. But knowing Apple, it's probably going to be close to 100, and that's per device, per model. In fact, they might even raise the prices higher on the higher storage models. The higher the memory variants are, the higher the price increase I think you're going to see, because Apple's notorious for doing that. Way overcharging for memory upgrades, and that just does not go to iPhones. That goes to MacBooks, to iPads, anything. So I think with the 1 terabyte models, you could see a probably $200 increase, to be honest with you. I think it'll go anywhere from $50 to $200 depending on what model you get. So we'll obviously have to wait and see. I don't know if that information will leak before these launch. Typically, they're pretty tight-lipped with what gets out. I'm actually surprised these kind of got out, but I don't know. What color do you think looks best? If I had to get one over, got a wireless mic. If I had to get one over, let's see. If I had to get, which unfortunately I think I probably will. I don't even use this stupid iPhone. I'd rather have something else. Anyways, I'll probably get the damn, I don't know. I'm not going to get the cherry red. I'm definitely not going to get cherry red. I'll probably get the blue. Although I've never had a black iPhone. So maybe I'll get that. Because I got a black S26 Ultra. Go all black this year. I might go back to all black. It's been a few years, but it looks pretty cool. It would either be the black or the blue. Maybe even the white or the silver. You know, that black would show scratches. Maybe the black one's not the one to get. Because you know these things are aluminum. They dent easy. They scratch easy. The scratches are going to show fairly easy on a black aluminum phone. I think it would scratch up like a tin can. So maybe that's not the one to get. Probably the best one to get if you're concerned about scratches and dents and showing some wear and tear is the white one or the silver one, because the color of aluminum is a silver color, and you know, if you scratch it up a little here, a little there, probably not going to be able to tell that much depending on how deep that groove is in that scratch. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We shall wait to see. Here's a little quick look at the specifications. Well, let me take this off of here. Now, this is the iPhone 18 Pro. 6.3-inch LTPO OLED display, 120 Hz ProMotion. Newsflash, it's only really like 83 Hz. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't think I've tested this one, but every iPhone that say they have ProMotion is only like 80 hertz. That's why they feel slow as molasses. It's probably goes into why I don't like using iOS devices, because it just feels like it's just slow. It's just I like super fast, lightning fast operations. iPhone, they like to take their time. Should be called slow motion and not ProMotion. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe I'll test this one to see, but we'll have to test it when it gets out. Biometrics, you're going to get under display Face ID system, leading to a much smaller removed dynamic island. The dynamic island will be smaller, but I don't think Gemini is right on this. I think they're just reducing the island. They're not going to go fully under display this year. So shame on you, Google. Shame on you, Gemini. I don't believe this is legit right here, because we're not honestly going to see that until the iPhone 20, their 20th anniversary edition iPhone. That's going to be completely under the display. But this year's dynamic island will be smaller. But again, I think they're literally just shrinking the island. I think you're still going to get the same sensors up front. Let's see, you're getting that A20 chip, 12 gigs of RAM. You're getting the C2 modem by Apple. I would like to see how this handles connectivity. Had a little rough start with the C1, not gonna lie. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing gets out of the gates. Should be, I've heard from insiders it's much improved. So, and what did I tell y'all the other day? Probably not the best bet to get the first generation of something, because there's always issues, problems that don't get ironed out like in the first gen. It takes, a whole bunch of your product to be sold, getting to the masses, because they can test as much as they want, but until you sell like 10 million phones, you really don't know kind of like what common problems pop up that you did not anticipate from the very beginning. And then they iron out those issues rolling into the second generation. So I think that's what we're going to see with their second version of their modem. So kind of anticipating that. That's probably the main thing I'm looking forward to, if anything, on iPhone, because y'all know I'm not a big iPhone fan. I want to see how that tests out. I guess the new camera system maybe, but even if I do get one, it's not going to get much usage. At this point, you're looking at triple 48 megapixel sensors, battery 5000, 5200. It's essentially going to be a refresh with a new camera, a new colors, and a new CPU, and a new modem, and that's about it. And I think on the the Pro Max, that information we're looking at here and right now, you're getting storage options up to 2 terabytes. Again, 12 gigs of RAM, A20 chip, 6.9 inch LTPO. Okay, 120 hertz slow motion. See, here they have it a little bit better. Expected to feature a slightly smaller dynamic island. See, now, Gemini, I know you're listening somewhere out there in AI land. You need to change your specs for the Pro model, because on the 18 Pro, you said the front-facing selfie camera is going to be under the display. That's not the case. You got it right on the Pro Max. Expected to feature a slightly smaller dynamic island. I promise I did not look at this before. I just Googled it and threw it up there on my tabs. Same stuff, right? Now, 48 megapixel. This one says another 48 megapixel, and then a 64 megapixel sensor setup. For the third lens, we shall see. But iPhone is an iPhone. Boring. So, what else do we have here? Moving into the future, look at this. Now, we briefly talked about the iPhone 20, the 20th anniversary edition. Y'all all know, well, maybe you don't, but just to wrap that up real quick so we can move into this iPhone 21, the 20th anniversary edition. Now, this is not going to be on all 4 iPhones. They're going to put out a special phone model. It's going to be their 20th anniversary edition, and they're going to put on all these commercials. Ads are going to pop up all over your phone. They're going to be on all these NFL commercials. It's just this one model, but they'll have others, right? Like a Pro Max, but they're going to have a specific model called their whatever 20th anniversary. I don't know what the hell they're going to call it, but it's going to be special because it's going to be all screen. All these sensors up front that's in the dynamic island is going to go away. All these sensors are going to go under the display. And it's going to have a quad nano curved display. So it's going to be slightly curved on the top and bottom, the screen, slightly curved on the left and right. It's going to look like you're holding just a display. You're not going to see any border or anything around it. That's the 20 special edition. And with this news coming out of this iPhone 21, saying could get a major ultra wide angled camera upgrade through technology shift, bringing 200 megapixel capture, 8K video recording, and more. Holy crap. So this iPhone 21 is rumored to adopt a chip on board, a COB technology for its ultra wide angle cameras, replacing the current flip chip method. This shift is expected to resolve heat dissipation issues, potentially enabling the integration of multiple 200 megapixel sensors. The new technology could also pave the way for 8K video recording capabilities on the iPhone 21. It would be a complete joke if they had multiple 200 megapixel sensors, all this new camera tech, and did not record in 8K, while Samsung has been doing it for years. COB technology, as I mentioned earlier, it offers improved optical precision and better heat management. I just said that. So, pretty interesting. Something to potentially look forward to. May or may not want to upgrade. If you have an iPhone 17 series, honestly don't see the point. In fact, you can make a case and say that the base iPhone 17 is the best model out of all of them to get, because I think the only thing they were holding back on the base model was their ProMotion, also known as slow motion. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but doesn't the base iPhone 17, don't they have ProMotion now? That's essentially the old, I mean, why spend hundreds of dollars more when you can get away with the base model? I think it's pretty good now if you're an iPhone user. So we'll have to wait and see. And again, there's not really a point to upgrade every year. So maybe you're looking at an iPhone 21 to upgrade, right? It's still a couple years away, or a few years away. It seems like Apple wants to throw in multiple 200 megapixel sensors. Where have you seen that before? Oppo. You think Apple got you think they bought they all pitched in to buy a Oppo Find X9 Ultra just to examine and see how they can do that with their phones? I'm sure they did. But I'm going to get out of here. I do appreciate the time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel. I am streaming on Facebook as well. So if you're watching this on Facebook, come on over to YouTube, eSIM Studios, subscribe to the channel, and follow me if you are watching this on Facebook, because normally we do a bunch of giveaways. So I didn't have one scheduled for today, but I think we did the last 6 out of 7 days we had giveaways. So maybe we'll do them tomorrow. Hell, I don't know. But that's why you got to subscribe so you get notified when we do go live. And did quite a few pop-up flash giveaways this last week. So anyways, have a good evening. Enjoy your time. Please be safe. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand